Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. It's so good to see everybody, and I hope you all can hear me okay. I wanted to come in to talk about something that I saw on IG. There's always financial lessons everywhere that I think we can all learn from, things that we see that can actually help us to understand money a little bit better. And before I move on, though, I'd like to ask you if you could hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. We don't get corporate backing. We're not trying to be mainstream and all that stuff, but we are looking for intelligent Black people. And so if you are in that category, if you are a person who wants to do better, if you love your community, if you love your family, love your people, then we are your people. So feel free to hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. And also, as I begin, I want to remind you guys that every single morning, 7 days a week, at 10 a.m. Eastern, I do financial training for anybody that wants to learn about money, anybody that wants to learn about economics. And I see Yoshika. How you doing today, girl? Good to see you. Tony Brown is FBA. All right, Foundational Black Americans. Shout out to all foundational Black Americans. Give us our reparations. Give me a yes if you agree that we deserve our reparations. All right, so one of the things I wanted to show you guys is a clip that I found of a young lady who is apparently from Nigeria, and she says her dad pays all of her bills. And I thought that would be an interesting financial lesson because a lot of y'all got kids. How many of you got kids? Anybody got kids? Give me a yes if you got kids, and give me a yes if your kids get on your nerves sometimes. If you got kids and they annoy you sometimes, then you put a yes in the chat. We got the 3 kids in the house, and I'm their bonus dad, so I didn't actually give birth to these kids. Our son is 6'9", so if you saw him, you would know that I cannot have the biology to produce a 6'9" kid. But I love him. I love him very much, and shout out to all the people out here that are taking care of their kids, whether you gave birth to them or not. So let me go ahead and play this clip. Give me a quick yes if you guys can hear the clip. There's a young lady that should be on the screen. If you're on Instagram, you won't be able to see the video, but you'll be able to hear it. Also, those of you that are listening on Spotify, same thing for you, but I'll explain what we're seeing here. So hopefully you guys can all hear it. So let me know if you can hear it. Here we go. I'm going to play it right now. It's on my Instagram page, which is Dr. Boyce Money, and here we go. Oh.
And what do you do for a living?
I vibe. I'm joking. No, I do acting and social media.
What would you say you spend in a typical month?
I can't say this online.
Roughly.
Between like 5 to 8.
How do you spend that money?
Shopping and Uber.
And rent and stuff?
My dad covers my rent.
How much a month are you paying in rent then? Or is your dad paying?
I pay yearly. My dad covers. I'm Nigerian. For everyone out there, in the culture, that's just how we are. But yeah, my dad covers everything. My dad covers my life.
How much do you think you need to earn a year to be comfortable living in London?
I don't know how it works in terms of like how much people make in this country. I can't lie to you. Me personally, I need a lot. Because I spend a lot. I need a lot.
How much do you earn a year?
I don't really have like a base for how much I earn. If we're talking about what I get from my dad,
yeah,
I can't say. Unfortunately, I have to keep that one to my chest.
Above 100K?
Just know I'm enjoying life, and that covers my life.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
And what do you do for a living?
I vibe. I'm joking. No, I do acting and social media.
What would you say you spend in a typical month?
I can't say this online.
Roughly.
Between like 5 to 8.
How do you spend that money?
Shopping and Uber.
And rent and stuff?
My dad covers my rent.
How much a month are you paying in rent then? Or is your dad paying?
I pay yearly. My dad covers. I'm Nigerian. For everyone out there, in the culture, that's just how we are. But yeah, my dad covers.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing right now. I hope you guys, let me know if you were able to hear that. Give me a yes if you were able to hear that. I know some of you are on Instagram. Dr. Boyce Money is my Instagram page. So feel free to follow me there. I'm going to go live on Dr. Boyce Money in the mornings when I do my morning class. So if you want to follow there, you can. Let me know if you guys can hear that. Okay, so here's what was going on in this video. This young lady basically says that she's 23 and her father pays all of her bills. And she spends $5,000 to $8,000 per month, and she said mostly shopping. And here's the thing: I think that that was inspirational. First off, let me ask you all a question. How many of you give me a type the word good if you think that that's a good thing. Type bad if you think it's bad that a 23-year-old can do whatever she wants because somebody else is paying the bills. So give me a good if you think that's good. Give me a bad if you think that's bad. What do you all think? I'd be curious to know what you all think about this. Interesting thing. Okay, I see a bad from Angela Africa. Okay, Vanessa says bad. Jay says good. Jay says she's honest. Yes, honesty is good. Kim Hitchcock says bad. Okay, Emma says bad. Who else? Okay, April says yes and no. Okay, good. That's interesting. All right. Let's see. Moyo says good. Yoshika says I'm torn. Yeah, you know what, Yoshika, I'm with you. I am torn. Todd Buchanan, you said both. Yeah, I'm gonna give the short answer on this. Again, in my simple opinion, I'm not an expert on being a dad. I'm considered an expert in finance, but that does not mean I know everything. So I'm not a know-it-all. First thing you learn when you get a PhD is how little you actually know. So your opinion really does matter to me, and I like hearing perspectives because I like learning from you. Let me go ahead and give you my answer. So the Dr. Boyce answer to whether this is good or bad is that the answer is both. It is good and bad. So what I'm gonna do is give you some pros and cons so that when some of y'all are doing well, some of y'all are making money. You're gonna have kids out here that are gonna, go out in the world and they're gonna say, anybody. I don't know if y'all remember the Cosby episode where one of the kids was like, "Yeah, Dad, we're rich," and he was like, "No, we're not rich. I'm rich." and so it's kind of like sort of letting kids know, like, "Hey, I learned it. I figured it out. I got it out of the mud. You have to get it out of the mud too." A lot of us have families like that. But then there's that other extreme of saying, like, well, just because you got it out of the mud, just because you struggled and strained and stressed to get ahead, that does not mean your kids have to stress. Just because you were traumatized does not mean your kids have to be traumatized too. And I think that that's the balancing act, right? That's what we're all grappling with as first generation middle class, upper class people. I don't Give me a yes. In fact, let me just do a quick check. How many of you, give me a guess if you are kind of considered first generation of middle or upper class in your family? Give me a yes in the chat if you started off poor and now you become successful. You started from the bottom, now you're here. All the people that are in that category, put a yes in the chat. And I'm going to put myself out there too, because I was, born to a 16. Well, my mother was 16 when she got pregnant. When we were 17 when she gave birth to me. Shout out to the mothers that they gave birth to their kids even when they didn't have enough money, because I know Planned Parenthood had another plan for me. They didn't even want me to be here talking to you. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, my mother had a really hard time. When I was a baby, we did live in the projects. I didn't know they were the projects, but that's where we lived. It's called the Sal Place. And so money was really tight. It was really hard. We had to kind of work to get ahead. And in the midst of that struggle, we picked up a lot of excellent values when it came to work ethic, delayed gratification, hard work, consistency, all that stuff, long-term planning, right? So I learned that from my family. Well, you know what? Our kids are some suburban kids. Suburban Black kids don't have those same skill sets all the time. Suburban kids don't have to go through some of the challenges we might have went through, some of the life or death experience some of us went through, and or just all the other things. And I'm kind of glad they don't, right? I'm kind of glad they don't have to struggle like we do. But at the same time, there's a type of strength you gain from struggle. Okay, let me know if you get what I'm saying. Like there's a strength you gain. There's a set of abilities, superpowers you get. If you watch any Marvel movie about any superhero, they will tell you that superhero got their superpowers from some really difficult experience. They were challenged by the experience, they overcame it, and because they overcame it, they became very powerful. So a lot of you have your innate superpowers because you did come out of the mud and you did go through hell in order to create your own heaven. I learned that heaven is a place I had to build. Heaven was not a place that someone was going to ever give me. And that resilience has been beneficial to me. And that's something I'd love for the children to inherit. But the truth is, they're just not. They're not going to ever really, they're going to be who they're going to be. But I don't know if they're going to be who we are. Right. So anyway, with that said, though, here are some pros of what I see. First of all, if you have kids that are able in their early 20s and 30s, or early 20s at least, to be able to live their lives without financial stress, you'll find that they're able to focus on activities that build their long-term career. They won't have the immediate stress of financial burdens. A lot of research shows that early support in a young person's career can lead to positive long-term outcomes. So if you take that financial burden off of the plate for them, they're able to make long-term decisions as opposed to making short-term decisions, putting out short-term fires. You know what I mean? So I remember when I was 23 and I was working hard. I was a straight A student. I was trying to get my PhD, but I would have to distract myself from my long-term career building activities so I could get $500 to pay the rent. Okay. That was not beneficial. That was not something that was not a character building experience necessarily. That was something where if somebody had said, hey, let me write this check for the rent so you can focus on school, that would have benefited me, because it wasn't like I was going to take the money and go out and become a thug or go out and start gambling with it. I was going to pay the rent with it. So that is one benefit. Also, when you delay financial stress, research shows that young adults face significant financial pressure in early adulthood. Give me a guess if you've noticed how many young people are on TikTok literally crying and breaking down in tears because they can't pay the bills. Has anybody noticed this? This is a really popular trend right now of just falling to pieces on TikTok, as if the internet cares about your feelings. And I guess that maybe those are the only friends that they have. And they're all crying. They're all sad because they don't have enough money. And I feel so bad for them. And I say, why didn't your daddy invest for you? Where's your daddy at? I believe every little girl deserves a daddy. I hate the fact that we have become so distorted in our community that we somehow have become used to the idea that 76% of all black girls don't have a father in the house. I think every black girl deserves a daddy. Every black boy deserves a father. Every black boy deserves a mama and a daddy, right? We all get a mama. Most of us get a mama. Almost all of us get a mama. But unfortunately, the majority of black children don't have a daddy. And if they do have a daddy, a lot of daddies can't do for them what this young lady did. So I think a lot of young women were watching this and really happy for her because they were like, gosh, I wish my dad was able to do this for me. So, to all the daddies that are being good daddies, shout out to you for holding up the standard. I think that we should be the protectors and the providers. I provided for kids that wasn't even mine because I just believe deeply in the ability to be there for our kids. And we're not there for our kids. And that's why they struggle. As much as we might want to point fingers at them and be mad at them, a lot of them are just making it the best way they can. It's a complex world. We didn't teach them nothing. We ain't leave them nothing. We don't leave them any assets. We got people that die and leave a damn GoFundMe account. All that is unacceptable. All that is unacceptable. We cannot do that. You have to invest for the kids. We have to leave them something. You got to have the life insurance policy, man. Get your trust, protect your assets, man. You put something together for the kids. Start buying stock for them when they're babies so that they don't have to struggle. So that's what I like about it. I like the fact that she's got a man in her life who is not trying to sleep with her, who is there for her on a financial level, who's not trying to push her to go 50-50 and not telling her she's a gold digger because she don't want to eat at the Cheesecake Factory. I think all of that is a beautiful thing. And I'm going to tell you, all this goofiness with the dating where the women are getting yelled at because they have a standard in terms of what they would expect from a man financially. I think that comes from the fact that a lot of these poor girls don't have fathers that can help set that standard. But at the same time, though, that goes to the other side of this argument. So I'm actually going to point that out. So the last benefit I'd say is that it does enhance family bonds. Research shows that if you're supportive of the kids, you're going to be more connected longer term. Why is this a benefit? Well, because one day you're going to get old and you're going to need that young brat to take care of you one day. So you want to make sure that they love you and they don't sort of remember like, well, you left me out to the wolves. You threw me out there and left me with nothing. So now that you're 85, I'm going to throw you out there. Okay. So anyway, do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Let's see. Talisa says, what is this notification? I don't know what that question means. I'd like to ask, what is this question? Because I don't quite know what you mean, but I hope you got a notification. Anybody get a notification? I'm gonna tell you, when you talk about black people stuff, they tend to mute your channel. You have people that'll do goofy stuff and they have 10 million views, and I'll do the same topic, and it's very difficult to get people in. We have to sort of reach out to you on our own. And in fact, speaking of that, if you want to follow me in the morning, I will go live at Dr. Boyce Money. So on Instagram. So follow me at Dr. Boyce Money on Instagram, and you get a chance to see me go live. I'm gonna go live tomorrow. I'll probably go live once a day or so. And if you're interested in your economic development, then I can sort of help you with some of that. Secondly, don't forget also that tomorrow we're going to do stock options. If you've ever seen how much money and income you can generate by selling stock options, you'll be very impressed by that. I'm going to literally show my students exactly what I do to make money. My wife and I do this. This is how we make our money. So if you'd like to do the $1 trial for the Prime program, which is a very popular stock options income program that we have in the Black Business School, just check the link in the bio. If you're watching on drboycetv.com, the link is in the bio. And also, I have a training called How to Make Money Without Working that'll knock your stocks off. It's totally free. Just text the word money to 87948. So text money to 87948. Okay, all right. So let's see. Ricardo says notification from Twitter, not the text number. Oh, okay. So Twitter gave a notification. That's good. Well, that's better than nothing. I'll take that. All right. Thanks to Elon Musk. I guess he's helping us out. All right. So here's the three cons that you might want to consider when you're talking about taking care of your adult children. The first is kind of a delayed financial independence. So while the support is helpful in the short term, it may undermine the child's ability to develop essential financial management skills. This young lady is spending $5,000 to $8,000 a month with no responsibility whatsoever. She didn't mention that, like, I'm working really hard to finish medical school or I'm busting my butt to build my business. She kind of seemed like she was really living the soft life. And the soft life is good for your mental health to a point, but it can also create a type of stagnation that you don't have when you have a purpose. So a lot of studies show that when a child is able to depend on others financially for a long time, it can delay their transition to full independence. So if you notice in this video, when he asked her basic questions about, like, well, how much does it cost to live here? How much do people have to pay to live in London? She had no idea. She had no idea. So to me, that's a sign of a what I call in my book, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. I refer to that as economic immaturity. The economic immaturity showed itself in the sense that she didn't even know what people pay in bills to live in that place. So what if one day she has to pay the bills? What if one day daddy's money runs out and he can't do it for her anymore? She's going to kind of be stuck. That's going to be a real problem for her. And so feel free to go grab a copy of the book, actually, The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. You can go to drboycebooks.com and I'll even sign your book for you. And actually, our 17-year-old, we don't give our kids the soft life. They work for us. So our 17-year-old is actually the one who will send you your copy of the book if you want to order one, and she'll even have me sign it for you before we send it out. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com and just search for the word autograph, and you get autographed copies of my books. All right. So the next reason why you want to be really careful about that soft life sort of thing is that it can create a little bit of entitlement. Okay. If you give a lot of financial support to a child, especially a child that is an adult, technically, they can have a sense of entitlement and financial dependency. A lot of research shows that young adults receiving significant financial help may struggle with personal responsibility and motivation to achieve financial autonomy. Now, let me explain it like this. How many of you remember just being hungry? How many of you became successful because you just really wanted it and you felt it? You felt the fire in your belly. You woke up with it. You went to sleep with it. You were hungry like a Rocky movie. Hey, anybody ever have that feeling? Anybody just sort of go through it where you're just feeling like, I got to go do this. I got to make it happen. Ain't nobody here for me. I got to go get this, right? Give me a yes if you've gone through this. I know that was my experience all through my doctoral program. Every single day I woke up, I would study 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I don't think I would have done that if somebody was paying my bills. I was in school for a very long time, and I was just a fighter, man. I just fought. And that fighting ability has really helped me a lot in my life. I'm not scared of nothing. I'm just not scared of nothing. I ain't scared of nobody. Can't nobody get in my way and make me flinch. I'm going to fight until the end, until the finish line, because that's what I was trained to do. And I got that through what I call God's training camp. And that's where you want something, you feel like you deserve it, you worked hard for it, but you still didn't get it because the universe has decided that you're not worthy of it yet, right? The world does not give you what you want. The world does not give you what you want. The world gives you what you deserved. The world typically gives you what you earned. Now, sometimes there's exceptions. Sometimes people get lucky, sure, but we're not going to sit around and hate on that. It's random luck, but you can't rely on luck forever. Typically, life gives you what you pay for. So if you don't get what you feel like you deserve, that means you didn't pay a high enough price. That's what it is. So ultimately, that hunger, that thirst, that push, that's something that entitled kids don't tend to have. And also, it can be the last reason why this could be a problem, taking care of your adult children in that same way, is that basically it can put strain on the parents. I don't know if anybody's seen these studies, but did anybody see this? This was actually in major news media recently. The Surgeon General came out with a report where they basically said that parents in America are in a health crisis. They're in a mental health crisis that literally you're getting crushed in what they call the sandwich generation, especially those of you between, say, the ages of, I don't know, maybe 35 and 55. The sandwich generation is where you've got kids to take care of and you got aging parents to take care of. And you got your job, and you got the bills, and you got inflation, and you have unprecedented amounts of credit card debt, unprecedented amounts of auto loan debt, unprecedented amounts of student loan debt. You're dealing with all of that, right? So you are literally under a lot of pressure. And the Surgeon General literally said, this is a public health crisis of epic proportions. Like, this is a big deal. So really, the part of the reason that I'm a little bit concerned about, taking on a financial obligation like that, $5,000 to $8,000 a month, is because, if you run into a financial strain and your child is saying, hey, daddy, where's my $8,000? And you're down to your last $2,000, that can be a problem because you're trying to maintain this image of being the strong man financially. And maybe that image is one that you can't handle at the moment. Maybe you're having a tough time. Maybe maybe your business is struggling. Maybe your savings have been depleted. So ultimately, that's one of the downsides that I see. So if you want to know my 2 cents on it, I think I'm definitely a big believer in investing in kids. I believe you should invest in them in terms of time, invest in them in terms of money, invest in them in terms of energy, invest in them emotionally. All these investments matter. I think some financial support is certainly beneficial, especially if they're doing good things for themselves. And if you got it like that, maybe when you do make those investments, not get to the habit where you create it as a fixed cost. A fixed cost is where they know they're getting the money every month. Instead, make it like a sporadic gift. Like, okay, here you go. I just decided to send you $500 today. And I just want to say I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. But don't say, hey, I commit to sending you $500 a month forever, because eventually when that relationship comes to an end, or when that financial thing ends, you might have some friction there. You're going to have some financial anxiety. Financial anxiety causes people to start fighting with each other. It causes a lot of conflict in families. My wife is a therapist and she deals with that type of stuff. In fact, I'm going to bring my wife to class later on this week. She's a licensed therapist and a full professor of social work. And so if you want to join us for Money in the Morning financial consciousness training, where we train on the art of economic elevation, how to get your finances right, go sign up at b1moneytips.com. The class is free. It's every morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. So feel free to go to b1moneytips.com and you can join us. And this week, I want to say Wednesday or Thursday, I should be able to get my wife in there to bring her by so she can kind of talk to you guys about financial anxiety and how to deal with financial psychology, the emotions of money. Money is very emotional, and it's something where you don't want money to destroy you and your best relationships. You want money to enhance these things. So that's what we're going to do later on this week. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Reminder, this podcast is on Spotify. So if you look up my name on Spotify, you can find me there. I'll also be live tomorrow morning at Dr. Boyce Money. So feel free to check that out. And last but not least, don't forget the All Black National Convention is happening October 25th through the 27th. This is where we get together. It is a Black sponsored conference with the smartest Black people on the planet coming together to solve problems specifically for Black people. The politicians aren't doing anything specifically for Black people. The corporations are not doing things specifically for Black people. The government ain't doing nothing specifically for Black people, but Black people are doing things specifically for Black people. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to be around other people that are looking for solutions for their families, that want to build wealth, that want to educate their kids, that want to build a stronger community and want to just connect with each other, go to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. We usually have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people there. We're almost out of tickets. We're going to sell out. We always sell out every year. So you may want to get your passes now. I don't expect there'll be any passes available at the door. So I hope to see you guys in Chicago, October 25th through the 27th. So anyway, I'm out of here, guys. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And don't forget, if you want to do the $1 trial for the stock options income program, it ends tonight at midnight. You can actually look for the link in the bio. It should be in the bio. So have a good day, everybody. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.